لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك محمد نبينا بنور هدينا محمد نبينا بنور هدينا.
President Muhammadu Buhari has appealed to the Saudi Arabian government to ease Hajj and Umrah visa processing for Nigerian pilgrims performing the 2018 Hajj. The request is coming on the heels of the introduction of biometric capturing system by Saudi government, which is making the process of pilgrims registration very cumbersome. In a letter delivered to King Salman bin Abdulaziz by Nigeria's ambassador to the kingdom, Justice Issa Dodo, President Muhammadu Buhari appealed to the Saudi authorities to review the process. The ambassador was accompanied by Nigeria's Consul General in Jeddah, Ambassador Muhammad Yunusa, and NAHCON Chairman Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar Muhammad.
This will bring a lot of problems. Your Excellency, we have over 700 local governments. And people from various these local governments have to go to the center in order to capture their thumbprints. It will not be an easy thing. People to leave their own location to go, and the center opening was not more than 3 by Saudi Arabia in Nigeria. 3, 7, something like that. And if possible, the letter indicated that if we can get it shifted.
We are not against biometric. We are not afraid of biometric. But Nigeria is a big country. The government need to know first. You did not inform the host government. You invited companies, you are telling them you are going to do this. The government did not know. So please, we want to know what is the policy, how is it going to be implemented?
Responding on behalf of the Saudi authority, the Director General in the Foreign Affairs Ministry in charge of Makkah, Jamal Bankoya, promised to make appropriate recommendations to the government. The Senior Special Assistant to President Muhammadu Buhari on Foreign Affairs and the Diaspora, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, has promised to partner the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria (NAHCON) to create more awareness among pilgrims on the need to understand the laws of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in order to avoid becoming victims of legal infringements. The President's Special Assistant made the pledge during a courtesy call on NAHCON chairman in Abuja.
I think it's important to step up awareness campaign for pilgrims going to Hajj. I know that in the last couple of years we've had a series of complaints. For instance, our pilgrims should know that carrying kola nuts in particular amounts to Hajj is a crime. Kola nuts is regarded as a drug. We don't call it a drug, but to them a certain amount is regarded as a drug.
She then commended NAHCON for making giant strides in Hajj management.
And then most importantly is to commend you for your efforts as chairman of the Hajj Commission. You know, in the last couple of years, there's been tremendous and significant improvement in our Hajj operations in Nigeria, and that is just the truth from people who are, involved and are going for Hajj all the time. I think we should give chairman and your whole team a round of applause.
Collaboration, teamwork,
Responding, NAHCON Chairman Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar Muhammad says the Commission is ready to partner with the Office of the Special Assistant in enlightening pilgrims on the do's and don'ts while in Saudi Arabia for the Hajj.
I want to assure you that we are willing partners in this direction, not only to our office, to other government agencies that can partner with us in creating more awareness, more sensitization, enlightenment programs on do's and don'ts of the Saudi government as well as Nigerian government. There is no amount of campaign in this direction that will be too much.
The chairman added that the Commission is collaborating with the Nigerian mission in Saudi Arabia to create more employment opportunities for Nigerians who are living legally in the kingdom, as well as support them to establish schools for the benefits of Nigerians residing there. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, has inaugurated the 2018 Hajj Aviation Committee to be headed by Aminu Ibrahim Dutse. Unveiling the committee, NAHCON Chairman Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar Muhammad, who was represented by the Commission's Commissioner of Operations, Alhaji Abdullah Modibu Saleh, urged members to show professionalism in ensuring the safety of Nigerian pilgrims during the Hajj exercise.
Some of the things you are going to do, you know them better than we do. That is why you are here. And that you are here because we need your activities, we need your guidance, and we need your support and cooperation.
And determination. And the sky is...
In his remarks, the chairman of the committee, Aminu Ibrahim Dutse, vowed to ensure that members discharge their duties diligently.
Pledge our commitment, diligence, and dedication, inshallah. And to call on members to live up to the expectation.
The committee's terms of reference, among others, are: monitor the status of departure centers and make recommendations; monitor all inbound and outbound flights at all departure zones to ensure compliance with airlift agreements and industry standards; ensure quality of in-flight services as per industry standards; and ensure compliance with 32 and 8 kilogram luggage policy by carriers and pilgrims. Members of the committee were drawn from aviation-related agencies. In an effort to ensure efficient service delivery to Umrah pilgrims, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, has called on its clients with complaints during the exercise to contact its officials on the following numbers: +234 803 733 4415 and +234 806 760 0401, or contact NAHCON head office in Mujud district in Makkah. Further on this, NAHCON has dispatched a team of inspectors to Saudi Arabia to monitor and evaluate the 2018 Umrah exercise as handled by licensed service providers from Nigeria. A statement by the Commission's Head of Public Affairs Division, Fatima Sande Usara, calls on Umrah pilgrims to always verify the package they are paying for before embarking on the journey. While reiterating its commitment to safeguard the rights of all Umrah pilgrims, as well as those of licensed tour operators, NAHCON has also advised pilgrims to abide by the regulations of Saudi authorities and remain good ambassadors of Nigeria. The statement further warns pilgrims not to overstay their visa expiry date, as doing so will attract penalties such as arrest, detention, a fine of 50,000 Saudi riyals, and deportation.
As part of its plans towards having a successful outing during the 2018 Hajj, as well as improving on the conduct of Umrah operators, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, held a meeting with the various chief executive officers of companies licensed to provide Hajj and Umrah services. The meeting, which took place in Abuja on Wednesday, the 28th of May 2018, had the theme Operational Meeting with NAHCON Licensed Umrah and Hajj Companies.
What we are going to tell you here.
NAHCON Commissioner of Operations Alhaji Abdullahi Modibo Saleh captured the essence of the meeting in his welcome remarks.
This occasion is an opportunity for us to rub minds, to speak to one another, to share our problems and challenges, and also to share our opinions.
Issues discussed at the meeting include pilgrims' biometric capturing, guarantor for pilgrims, issue of human trafficking and pilgrims' abscondment, restructuring of NAHCON zonal offices, extension of registration deadline, and electronic registration for pilgrims. Others were national medical team as well as pilgrims' education.
The issue of guarantors who guarantee the pilgrims is now very, very critical, because in the event that you took somebody to Saudi and refused to come back, then of course your only way out is when you produce the guarantor who should be held responsible.
We have observed that up till now, the international tour operators used to accommodate their pilgrims around Ya Balash. National Hajj Commission have banned keeping of pilgrims around that area.
You as licensed tour operators, the interaction
addressing
supposed to be more
participants,
frequent.
NAHCON chairman Barrister Abdullahi Mukhtar Mohammed disclosed that the federal government is working assiduously to ensure that more biometric capturing centers are created.
Government will continue to do everything humanly possible to make sure that people don't get delayed or get suffered in this process. And alhamdulillah, I'm pleased to also know that on their part, the Saudi government are responding positively.
Barrister Abdullahi Mukhtar further stated that the Saudi government has granted Nigeria the grace period of up to 30th of June 2018 for the completion of pilgrims' registration. He therefore called on licensed companies to take advantage of the added period to complete the registration processes.
Now that extension has been granted for all of us, both the private tour operators and those under the states. But I am not too sure if we did not work within the extended period, if there will be another extension.
He further states that NAHCON will strengthen its system for regulating the activities of all licensed tour operators.
There are two different things. We already have an institution, which is the commission, but we want to now have a system. And alhamdulillah, I can see that the system is gradually taking shape. But this is not the only system I want us to leave behind. Many more. And that is why gradually we are repositioning the commission in such a manner that will implement the acts that establish the commission.
He then urged the licensed companies to be honest in dealing with their customers.
That the leadership of NAHCON are doing whatever I could do to strengthen the
Acting President of the Association for Hajj and Umrah Operators in Nigeria, AHON, Alhaji Abdullahi Butu, spoke on behalf of its members. He lauded NAHCON for introducing various reforms to sanitize the activities of tour operators.
Definitely, licensed tour operators in Nigeria has confidence and hope and belief of what Mr. Shitu said, or the vision, the mission of the leadership of NAHCON of today.
The tour operators also expressed happiness over the extension of the time frame for registration, praised the Commission for being proactive. At the end of the event, we sought the views of participants on how a meeting of this nature can enhance service delivery to pilgrims.
Change is the only thing, constant thing in life. There has been a lot of changes in the way we operate, especially with the direction from the other end, that's the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, that we need to emulate here in Nigeria. It's a gradual process though, but we're going to get there inshallah.
The current information in that industry and how the Hajj will be conducted. And of course, this is so important because the Hajj Commission has been able to wake us up from the slumber and to tell us exactly what we should do and what to avoid and how we are to inspect and even screen our pilgrims.
سطع في المدينة محمد نبينا بنور هدينا اللهم لبيك لبيك لا
Walking between the mountains of Safa and Marwa, otherwise known as Sa'i, is one of the pillars of Hajj and Umrah which pilgrims are expected to perform. How should pilgrims perform this rite? Are they to start with Safa or Marwa? How many rounds are they expected to go?
As-sa'i bayna Safa wal Marwa, meaning shuttling or
On
walking
Hajj Talk tonight,
between
Imam
the
Ilyas
Safa
Abdul
and
Mu'min
Marwa.
answers these and other questions.
Because if you talk of Hajj rite, one, you have ihram or assuming ihram. The second one is tawaf, meaning circumambulating the Kaaba 7 times. Then the third one is as-sa'i bayna Safa wal Marwa, meaning shuttling or walking between the Safa and Marwa. Then the fourth one of the rite of Hajj is standing on the Mount of Arafah. Then the Umrah has 3 rites, which is Ihram, Tawaf, and Sa'i.
When are pilgrims expected to perform Safa and Marwa, and which one are they supposed to begin with?
They do perform Sa'i for Umrah or Hajj immediately after going around the Kaaba 7 times. After observing the 2 rakat of Nawafil, then you take Zamzam water, then you proceed to the Sa'i, which is walking between the Safa and Marwa. Prophet Muhammad said, I begin by that which Allah begins. Because in the verse, Allah said, Inna Safa wal Marwa. So Allah started mentioning the Safa before Marwa. So for that, for those performing Hajj or Umrah, you have to start your Sa'i at the Mount of Safa.
How many times are pilgrims expected to walk between Safa and Marwa?
When starting from the Safa, going to Marwa, that is 1. From Marwa to Safa, that is 2. From Safa again to Marwa, then you should be counting that you should be very, very conscious of that, because some people, they thought if you start from Safa and go to Marwa and come back, that is 1. No. Starting from Safa to Marwa is 1. From Marwa to Safa is 2. Then the last one, which make the 7th one, it will end at Safa.
Located at the valley of Safa and Marwa is the use of the green lights. What do these lights signify?
The 2 green lights, if you reach there, you are to do what they call a raml, meaning fasting the walk as you can. But this is only for men, not for women. The women are to walk on their normal pace. They should not differentiate the way they are walking when they reach the point of those 2 green lights.
What supplications are recommended for pilgrims when performing Safa and Marwa?
You say, Inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. فمن حج البيت أو ائتمر فلا جناح عليه أن يطوف بهما فمن تطوع خيرا فإن الله شاكر عليم. Then you say Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah is great, Allah is great, Allah is great 3 times when you are on the Mount of Safa. Then the 4th one, you say La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulk wa lahul hamd wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. La ilaha illallah wahdah anjaza wa'dah wa nasara abdah wa hazama al-ahzab wahdah. To all this supplication, anybody that is performing Umrah or Hajj, when reaching the Mount of Safa, you have to recite all these supplications. Then after that, you face the Qibla, the Kaaba, to supplicate, to make dua, because it's among the places that Allah accepts supplication. You supplicate for your own self, for your family, for your parents, for your relatives, and for those who requested you to pray for them when reaching there.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك.
Pilgrims Welfare Boards, or sometimes referred to as agencies or commissions, are established by state government and the FCT with the mandate to coordinate various Hajj activities for intending pilgrims. Bauchi State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board was created over 3 decades ago by a military decree to organize Hajj. Alhaji Abdullahi Hardawa is the current executive secretary of the board. He sheds more light on the mandate of the board.
The mandate is clear for us to facilitate the arrangement and the movement of pilgrims from here to Saudi Arabia, either on Umrah or Hajj operation.
The laws establishing the board were reviewed to make it more efficient. It also provides that the state governor has the power to constitute a governing board under a chairman. When Governor Muhammad Abubakar inaugurated the current board, he directed its members to address challenges affecting Hajj management in the state.
There was observed racketeering in the sales of Hajj registration forms, to the extent that intending pilgrims were unduly subjected to unnecessary charges. One had to pay a lot of money before you could get teller to go and make lodgement in favor of the board in a bank. So that had to stop. That was the first marching order he gave us. And secondly, it was also observed at that time, most of the seats allocation were made to privileged individuals. The governor clearly directed us. We should liberalize and give more emphasis on ordinary individual intending pilgrims. And the first year we did that, about 90% of the seats were sold to individual ordinary pilgrims.
Further on this, the Bauchi State Pilgrims Board is also keen into the various reforms introduced by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, in order to improve on Hajj administration.
We respect the management of the Hajj Commission for all these reforms. They are aimed at, one, ensuring sanity in the system. Two, maximizing the interest of the individual pilgrims. And thirdly, making things easier for officials.
NAHCON recently came up with different strategies to ensure that Nigerian pilgrims are airlifted on schedule. Bauchi State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board is also bracing up to ensure hitch-free airlift operations.
You know, our pilgrims, some come from within the town, Bauchi town, some come from the 20 local government areas that we have. So we group them based on the capacity. And we now invite them in batches, that is according to the flight schedule. We invite at least 2 flights at a time, so that whenever we dispatch one, we have one ready on the ground, that's at the Hajj camp.
Plans are also in place for the rehabilitation and expansion of the state Hajj camp, while the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa International Airport is in good shape for Hajj and other operations.
We have landing facilities such as VOR, we have ILS, we have GP, and we have NDB. They are landing facilities. And on the runway, we have runway lights like center light, we have edge lights, we have pipey, we have end lights, we have approach lights. And here at the tarmac where we are now, we have apron flood light, which will aid in night operation.
After meeting NAHCON requirements for operations, the board has been licensed and upgraded to level A, which is the highest performance rating to be attained by any state board.
That grade A operating license conferred on us 2 important things. One, it jacked up our seat allocation. Before then, our seat allocation was 2,520. But by virtue of earning that operating license, our seat allocation was jacked up from that to 3,213. That's a very favorable achievement. Secondly, it confers on us a privilege to also partake in the Umrah business.
The performance of the Bauchi State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board has earned it some awards, which include first in hand luggage management and third position overall out of 36 states, the FCT and armed forces that performed the 2017 Hajj. The awards came from both NAHCON and Hajj Reporters of Nigeria. Bauchi State is stepping up efforts for the conduct of the 2018 Hajj. Hajj Fair has been announced while registration and pilgrims' enlightenment are ongoing.
Those interested to partake in this year's Hajj to come forward and make payments as due. We have given them up to 22nd of this month. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria said up to the end of the month. We are limiting it to 22nd to give us enough time to do some reconciliations and ensure that we remit what is remittable to the Commission within the time span.
إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك